Hello everyone who is watching this in post. This is my annual Summer Solstice Live, and this is actually happening on the 21st because traditionally the summer solstice would be on June 21st, though I believe this year was a leap year which had something to do with it, so it was technically yesterday. And what I have been doing as of late is celebrating the holiday just with myself and nature and those closest to me at the time. So I get to celebrate with you typically either the day before the summer or winter solstice or the day after the winter or summer solstice. So thanks everybody for joining. I'm seeing people pop on. Hello, happy solstice to everybody. Hello. I'm going to assume that you can hear me all right. It looks like my mic is working again today. It was very good for us last week. So here's to it being good for us again this week. So hello. Excellent. Thank you for answering that, Fresenius. So yes, happy solstice. Everything is sacred. That's a cool name. Yes, cool. Hey, Eni, I cannot wait to see you later next month. Eni is a tour guide in Savannah, and if you are in Savannah, whether you're looking for history, ghost, and or both, please check out Eni. She is wonderful. So always good to see you. Yes, happy solstice, everybody. Yes, I'm excited to see you too, Edie. I have visited Savannah twice now and have had the honor of walking Savannah streets with Edie, who is, I just consider a historic, like, ghost person, ghost storyteller legend. So now I get to return the favor and walk around the streets of Wilmington with you. I'm very excited. Thank you, Moosey Goose. Good to see everybody. Yes, I also love Savannah. Savannah was one of those places where I was walking around. I was like, I could totally live here. But also, I think that's just because it was like Wilmington, and yeah, but I love living here. So I get to be here, and then I get to visit Savannah when I can. Hello, Meg. Hello. Welcome. It's been forever. I'm doing well. I hope you are too, Sarah. Yeah, I have been regularly posting. I posted a little bit less this month. If you're looking for ghost skits, I did pre-release those on Patreon like weeks ago. I pre-released, goodness, like 25 minutes already on Patreon. So those will be posted at some point in the near future. I was doing a lot of traveling a few weeks ago, so I was not regularly posting because I was being alive. But of course, that travel also includes being able to share that with all of you at a later time with more Ghost Skate content. Some of that was already covered in Alchemist Inkwell podcast, and plenty more to come. I've also got a live scheduled with Emily Dexter, who is Liker of Words, to talk about our wild time at Alcatraz and San Francisco and Virginia City and all sorts of things. So very excited about that. Oh my goodness, the algorithm didn't connect me with you for a year. Yeah, I've been noticing that. And that's the thing, I hate to have to put things behind a paywall, though if you want to catch my stuff regularly, Patreon really is the way to go. You can join for free if you just want to be reminded of when I'm doing like long form content, though if you just want to pay $5 a month and still get ghost skits and still be up to date with everything that's going on, as well as monthly outlooks, that is on my Patreon as well, because I know algorithm be algorithming, and here we are. So yeah, good to see you. Happy solstice, Charlotte. Thank you for wishing me the same. Yeah, any fake accounts that you see, please block and report them. That is not me. I am not in DMs. Hello, ma'am. That's the thing. If you were to DM me on Facebook or Instagram, you actually get an automatic message saying, I am not in my DMs, period. So if anybody ever contacts you and is saying that they're me in your DMs, that is not me. I cannot be in DMs. Like, I would be so overwhelmed. In fact, the reason why I started doing consultations was I was getting so overwhelmed with the DMs and the emails that I had to do something. So I was like, y'all, if y'all have questions for me, if you want to meet with me, you absolutely can. And that's how consultations came into being almost 4 years ago. Isn't that wild? Also, thank you for the gifts. I'm seeing them. Thank you, Mystic Muse. I think I saw a few other ones. Thank you. Yes, I am wearing the crystal crown today, Katie. Yes, this is an original by Lala Lotus, and she made this for me as a gift, and I am just so grateful to have it. It is the solstice, so I'm feeling it, you know. Crazy low moon tonight. Any advice for it? So yeah, it's called the strawberry moon. It's going to be big, and for some people, it's going to look like a shade of pink. And I believe it's also going to have a like kind of light ring around it. Thank you for the gifts. I'm seeing those. If you can get outside to see it, I definitely recommend it. This is a great shedding moon. So if you have anything between you and achieving your greatest ambition can be anything. Absolutely anything. In fact, I recommend if you've got some time right after this to watch or listen to Alchemist Inkwell podcast. They covered a lot of things on that I'm also applying to myself in regards to this new moon or to this full moon tonight. So yeah, I'm excited for that. I probably won't see it for like another 2 hours or so. So, but we'll see. This is still one of the longest days of the year, even though it's technically after the solstice. So going to the beach to see the moon with some friends. Yes, I love that idea. I'm near the beach as well. I won't be heading out there tonight, but I did go to the beach yesterday as part of what I wanted to do for solstice. Fun with it and release. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. So, oh, people are subscribing. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, subscribing really helps me out. It one can help you basically tell the algorithm that you are interested in following my stuff. I, on occasion, have done reads for subscribers. I will announce that if I'm doing that. Today, I am doing a communal read. I've got my little set here, which I'm going to do in a little bit. And yeah, if you do that, it goes to helping me to be able to do more videos like this, to be able to put out there for anybody who is looking for some advice or looking to feel less afraid with the spiritual things that are going on in their lives. So thank you, thank you. Oh, Joey, I hope you can see it. Hey, Sally. Yeah, well, the best thing about the internet is that if you miss it, you can always catch pictures, right? I do that sometimes too. Thank you, Meg. I appreciate you subscribing. So yeah, okay. Thank you, thank you. Well, thanks everybody for joining. I do want to get started. This is going to be a little bit more different of a live because I do take this live and the Winter Solstice live to really review what has been going on throughout the last 6 months to the year. And that's why I have my spirit space journal that I made. I will show you the inside of the pages. If you're feeling inspired to get your own copy, you're welcome to. All that information is on my website. However, if you just want to take the information from the pages and make your own, however you want to process things and learn and grow for yourself is the right way for you. So I always want to make that accessible to people. So yeah, I'm going to be going over, because every solstice I do like a huge sort of like review on the last 6 months to the year. And then I'll also be doing some communal reads. This is not my full lithomancy set. As you can tell, I am outside and I am standing. So I was not able to pack my, I think, oh goodness, it could be well over 100 pieces at this point. Thank you, Haley. So this is like about 20 pieces, and I'm going to trust that it's going to be able to do the right job for us. I did psychically pick the pieces before putting them in the bag. Then I put some good like juju powder that I got from a shop out in Greensboro called Terra Blue. Shout out to Terra Blue. They're wonderful folks. And we will do the communal reads a little bit later. In fact, I might sprinkle them in throughout the next hour just to kind of like spice things up a little bit. So yay, happy solstice everybody. Thank you for the gifts. I am seeing those. Yeah, so just once again, thank you, title gifter, what's up? Thank you. Mystic Muse, I believe that's you. Yeah, if I'm not as engaged in the comment section, I hope that you will please forgive me for this particular live, as I am going to be focused on like kind of a newsletter sort of thing for you this time around. But typically I do lives on Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time pretty much every week. If I don't do that, I will announce it certainly on probably Patreon to all my members. You don't have to pay for that if you want to be just a general member. But yeah, for today, I wanted to catch up with everybody and let everybody know what I've been doing. So yeah, hey Caitlin. Yeah, cool. I'll just check in with the comments super fast. Yes, blessed solstice. Very cool. Awesome. Cool. Just catching up with the right. Thanks for the gifts. I super appreciate those. If you see me do this, I am in the South, and behold, there are mosquitoes. I do have bug spray on. Thank you for subscribing. Oh my goodness, I super appreciate that. That goes to supporting me, so I appreciate you. But yeah, let's go. Also, I'm just checking in. I am between Oh, yeah, that spider got bigger. I'm blessed. I'm between 3 different spider webs out here on this porch, which I think is absolutely wonderful because I can just move the mosquitoes into their web and everybody gets fed. That's all I'm saying. So if you see me doing that, I would show them to you, but my camera has issues focusing on them. But they're itty bitty right now, but they're going to get about this big by the end of the summer. So I'm very, very thankful to them. They are very obvious, and they just, I like the obvious spiders. Like y'all doing the best. So if you follow my personal Instagram, I will probably give you spider updates, usually with a trigger warning, especially when they get big, because I know not everybody's into spiders. But yeah, I just get very excited about the spiders out here because they're doing the good work, especially with all of these skaters. So anywho, yes, these are golden orb weaver spiders. So they get pretty big. And these are the ones with the thin butts, the long thin butts. And then there are also some down here with like the long fat butts. And I don't really know what the distinction is. I just know they're thin long butts and fat long butts. And I mean, just get it. That's all I'm saying. So yeah. Thank you for those in the comments who are helping each other out and answering basic questions. I super appreciate you doing that for me. You all are just a wonderful community. I appreciate you so much. So, let's see. I was thinking about doing this first, but I think I'm going to do a little read first. So, let's get into this. What are we reading for? Let's start off with something more basic, okay? So, things to keep in mind during this solstice season for the collective. Now, here's how I do my reads. If you don't want to be a part of it, you don't have to be. You can absolutely be like, woo, I'm not into this. No, thank you. I'm good. You just let your folks know. Just say it to yourself in your mind. That's all. Like, you're good. If you want this read to, apply to you, or you're looking for guidance or something like that, just you can say telepathically to your guides and be like, yep, I consent to this. So I'm gonna move some of these mosquitoes, try to get them into the webs. Okay. When I get awkward, you get singing. There we go. All right. So, what is something we should keep in mind as a collective who consents for this summer solstice season? Okay, this one. Okay. This is a rusty nail. Woohoo! Okay. So, what does rusty nail tell us for this season? This is not a time to be ignoring what you know to be true. If you need to release something, if you need to let somebody go, something go, some habit go, anything like that is keeping you from your truth, from your ambition, from your dreams, knock it out. Hit it on the head, get it out of here. Think of it as, when you're building something, you're putting nails down as you go. Sometimes if you're building, like, let's say a roof, you're going to be building the roof out. You're going to be building the roof so that you can put weight on it and move forward. So remember, I don't think this is a time to be like, oh man, I did this. No, that's if you don't put the nail into the wood. That's if it is sticking out for you. If you want it to be applicable, just whack that thing right on its head and move past it. So really, if I'm singing this and something is coming to mind and you're like, ooh, is she talking about that thing? And here's the thing, I'm making a communal thing, so I can't go into specifics for everybody because that would be a lot. However, if it's coming to your mind, trust yourself. Everybody is psychic. Everybody has intuition. So if that is coming to the forefront of your mind, do something about it. Do something about it. Thank you, Baggy. Oh, I need to not put this back in the bag. So cool. I will put it on this other thing right here for the time being, so I don't lose my nail. Cool. All right. I think that'll be it for now, but I am going to do where we came from, where we are, and where we're going. And I'm going to do that in a little bit. But first, I'm going to catch y'all up on what I've been doing. So just wondering, how was that read for everybody? Definitely resonates. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Nice. Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. So, all right, back to Spirit Space. So I told you I would show you the inside of the pages. They're very basic because I remember I would get like really overwhelmed with writing my journal like a writer would, and that'd be very overwhelming. Thank you for the roses. I see those. So I made this so I had to do bullet points. It's been very helpful for me. Now it's probably going to be flipped because this is a live, so I'm going to read it to you. I'll kind of like switch it. So these are the pages. You are welcome to screenshot it. Just know if you do decide to buy this, it helps me to do the thing that I'm doing now to help other people out, to help with their understanding and that sort of thing. You can do this, you can get your own copy by going to my website. I've actually got two different versions of this. This is the unlined one, and then the other one has lines. But anywho, I will read out the things, and then if you screenshotted it, you can always flip it in post. You can also find the pictures on my website as well where you can buy these. Anywho, okay, so it starts on with the title, title your day. Be the hero of your own story, the date or dates, and then it goes into 3 reflective words. I usually go back. Oh, thank you for that. Thank you, Abstract Freckle. I usually go back and then fill in the 3 reflective words, but if you already know what your words are, go ahead and put them down. They're up at the top for you. And then the questions I ask myself are what I achieved, what I learned, what I released, what I'm grateful for, and then I make an affirmation for tomorrow or the next period or whatever that means. Just something that I want to get ingrained into my mind that is doing me well. Oh, we got the cicadas out tonight. Good thing I wore my mic. I nearly didn't wear this mic. So yeah, these are the kind of reflective things I like to do with myself. I like to do with my family, my partner. I like to do with my friends. I like the deep stuff. I like talking about that. So just curious, for those of you who may have it, oh, great. Ma'am, you have it. Love mine. Yeah. How do those questions work for you? Like, here's a better question. Would any of you add a question for yourself in that regard? Hoping to get one soon. Yay, Joey. I'll go back through my... Ooh, thank you for sharing that, Sarah. You said it resonates. Yeah. The focus point on... I don't think I'll be telling ghost stories tonight, but come back next week and I'd be happy to tell you some ghost stories. Yeah, so cool. Well, if you have any things that you would add to these things, I'd be happy to see them in the chat or just share them with other people. I'm sure they would appreciate that. And yeah, so, okay. I keep growing in my reflections each time, so I'm going to show you one. This was the winter solstice one. It's all one nice page. And then this is the summer solstice one. I had a lot to say. I had a lot to reflect on. So yeah, as I said, for anybody who's just joining, I am doing something different for this live. I'm not going to be able to answer as many questions. And mods, if you could help to respond to people who are commenting, just to let them know. I typically would be more than happy to answer questions, but this is a different kind of live just for this night. So that would be super appreciated. Thank you so much. So I wanted to go over some things that I achieved this year because thank you. This is Lala Lotus. Yeah, I can sometimes get very trapped in forgetting all the things that I do. And this is actually something that I have gone over with my therapist because like literally 2 weeks ago, the last time I met with her, it was very much why don't you ever feel like you're enough? Or why do you only feel that if you are in service to others, that will be enough? So things I'm working on in therapy. I know to some of you, I've referred to myself as a recovering workaholic, and I'm very proud for my progress in that, but that is an ongoing journey, especially when we are still living in a capitalist society and a patriarchal society. So I continue to explore my health and how much I'm putting into things, and especially how much I'm putting into myself so that I can put into other people. So yeah, that is a question to ruminate on. Yeah, so things that I did these past 6 months since the winter solstice of, goodness, that was December 21st, 2023. I traveled a lot, and I brought you along on those travels with me. I went to Williamsburg, I went to Jamestown and Yorktown. I put Hadestown. Y'all didn't go with me on that one because it's like illegal to film that, but I had a great time. It was a traveling musical I saw twice because I love it, and I'm going to be seeing it later this year again because I love it. If you do not know Hadestown, please do look it up. It's so great, in my humble opinion. Anyway, So yeah, Williamsburg, I'm still putting video content out. All of that has been pre-released to my Patreons, but publicly the shorter version has been released on YouTube, and you'll see some of those videos on here as well. And then Jamestown, the Jamestown settlement, I went with Crystal and Sophia, who's also on here. I went there with Theron Beyond the Veil as well. That's going to be coming out next month on Patreon. I think it'll also be coming out publicly next month on YouTube as well. And Yorktown, we didn't have as many haunted things that happened in Yorktown. Like, we talked to some random guys who were a little homophobic, like, we're just trying to live our happy lives. And dude ghost comes out and he's like, "Buh." So whatever. Not my first time with a homophobic ghost. But anyway, Yorktown actually turned into more of a discussion about past lives, which is really interesting. So that'll be coming out probably in 4 months, because I think I'm going to do Alcatraz not next month, but the month after that. So it's coming. It's coming. But yeah, y'all, like, supporting me helps me go to these places so I get to learn more. I get to do the spirit work. Sometimes I'm not always able to film that, though. I want to also give back to elements that I can't give back to. So yeah. Anyway, other things. I went to Historic, and some really cool things happened. Halifax Resolves was there, and we happened to find ourselves, this is Theron and me, we happened to find ourselves, like, on a whim in Historic Halifax on the weekend where they were having the big reenactment for the Halifax Resolves. If you didn't know, the colony of North Carolina was the first to secede from England, and so they celebrate that each year in Halifax. And that was super cool. So here's your trusting intuition. I made an Instagram post about it. Anywho, other places, yeah, San Francisco, Lake Tahoe, Virginia City, Reno, that's all coming up. I was able to go visit Like Her Words, aka Emily, out there, and we were able to do a lot of really wonderful work, some of which will only be released on Patreon, just because we don't feel the need to put that out, like, super publicly, because we don't really want the clout for it. We're sharing it more on an educational standpoint rather than like, trying to get attention or anything like that. So if you're interested in, like, super woo, that'll be on Patreon. And yeah, so those are some of the places. Oh yes, how could I forget? Richmond, Virginia, for Sacred Spaces Gathering Part 1. That was back in January, which was like, I my words. Like, it was so cool. Like, and some of you were there, and I just, it was one of the biggest feats that I have ever done. And I have been a producer for most of my professional life. Really, yeah, pretty much all of my professional life. I've been an organizer and a manager, and I've been so many things. And I got to use all of this, plus the mediumship element and the spiritualist element, the collaboration element with other creators. And I got to actually do something in January and bring a bunch of cool people together. And so many people made friends, and so many people got to find their community. And that's what I want. That's what I want. I didn't realize that last year I was going through so many different things to really figure out the best people to work with, and to really figure out the best people who truly care about other people and bringing people together and community. And goodness, last year was really, really hard. All the same, I'm so glad to have learned those lessons so I can move forward with the absolute best people possible, so I can share those wonderful people with all of you, using my platform for what I believe is very good. So that was Sacred Spaces Gathering. We are doing it again. That's going to be in September of this year. It's going to be in Richmond again. And we have these magical add-ons. A lot of them are sold out, but we still have some left. One is the Mystery Spirit Theater, which is very much like it sounds. We are going to watch the best moments in Ghost Adventures between Emily, myself, and Theron. We're all going to have mics, and we are going to rip it to shreds as spiritualists, but also as entertainers. Also me as a professional performer. Before I was on TikTok, I was a professional performer for theater and some national TV credits before this. So yeah, I will totally rip apart some bad acting for you. So that's still available if you want to have a good time with us. But general admission tickets are still available. We've sold 2/3 of them, which is very exciting. But yeah, if you still want to come to general admission, there's a place for merchandise. There is going to be workshops that you can be a part of for no additional charge. And by the way, we still are looking for vendors. So if you see this and you're like, whoa, I'm a vendor and I could make it to Richmond, please send us there's like a contact form at sacredspacesgathering.com. So we would love to see what you can do. Yeah. So I don't know if we'll be recording it on a live. It might, I don't know if we can make it a part of the virtual tickets or not. Plus, like, we have to have it, like, shown as well as, like, our faces. I don't know. I'll bring it up at the next meeting because that would be fun. Though, I don't know if we could do it logistically. So, we will see. We will see. Let's see. I'm going to do a read before I go into my next part of big numbers. So, let's see. I'm also going to check in with the comments because I really appreciate that y'all are talking to each other. Hello, hello. Hello, Haley. Yes, Marla, we're going to have so much fun. I'm super excited. Bagel Man doesn't stand a chance. Roasting bagel bites? Yeah. Yeah. So cool. There are virtual tickets because I understand that may not be in the works for some of you farther away, or that's just a rough time for you or whatever. The virtual tickets, they will be coming out after the event. Last time we did it on Zoom and the quality was not what we wanted. So we're going to be presenting much better quality this time, and you can get access to the main conference through a virtual ticket. That should be explained if you go to the website as well. So hello, Cookie Notebook. Happy solstice, Jess. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to get into the next part of this. Once again, if you're just joining, I don't do reads without consent, even communal reads. So if this is not your thing, if you don't want to do this, all you have to say is like, no, that's not for me. You can just say it for yourself. Like that's all that matters. If you want this to apply to you, if you are open to it, just telepathically say yes to your guides, to whoever you believe is around you, to the heavens, whatever. And basically, and P.S., if you're watching this in post, it doesn't matter. Time and space don't matter to spirit. That's the coolest thing. So you can even say it in post and still accept a message if you so choose. So for this one, I'm going to do a 3-part poll. It's going to be how we got here, where are we right now, and where are we going as a collective. So yeah, I think I'll probably roughly the last 6 months, like how we got here, where we are, where we're going. So for the collective, how do we get here? Okay, I'll show these to you in a second. And where are we? That one right there. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna put it out. Okay, that's where we are. I'll show it in a moment. And where are we going? Okay. I had a second thought about including this one in it, but here we are. Okay, so first we're going to do where we are before I tell you what in the world I pulled for where we're going. Sorry. I'm really expressive, everybody, so all of you are like, oh my god. Okay, as I awkwardly am like, oh god. So how did we get here? All right, this is clear quartz. This is how we got here, okay? So I think we got here with the best of intentions. We had to get through eclipse season. I know this year has been very difficult for a lot of you, myself included, especially in the emotional area. The thing is, though, I feel like all of that has led up to a very clean slate, especially leading up to now. If you've got anything left for yourself to get rid of, tonight's a great night to do it. Wow, I keep getting this image of dirt being washed away, and this is what we got left. Sometimes it will feel like dirt as an exterior is a protection. And sure, it is. If dirt were over this, I wouldn't think about digging, unless I was going for it one day, right? Though, if we really want to evolve, if we really want to move, if we want to move out of the place that we are in, dirt has to go away. We got to clean ourselves. So this is a really good time to acknowledge how you got here, but be sure that you're not staying in the past. Let go of anything that you need to let go of, because it's time. It's just time. It's heavy, isn't it? Just do what you need to do. Some of you may need counseling or self-help books or therapy. Nothing wrong with that. I do go to therapy. I'm a regular attender for years. We live in very hard times. And this whole mentality of, oh, that's for weak. Oh, that means you have a problem, blah, 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 blah. We live in hard times. You owe it to yourself to give yourself space to heal. So cool. Thank you for all the therapy shout outs in there. Yes. Cool, cool, cool. So that is how we got here. Where are we right now? This is a tiger's eye in the shape of a heart. I actually got this as a worry stone like years ago. And P.S. in the upcoming months, it looks like I will be doing a course for my Patreons on how I acquired all of my lithiomancy stuff. That's been requested, so I'm really excited about that. I didn't know that y'all would really want that much of a show and tell, and that you would consider it like a course, but like, sure, here we go. But anywho, yes, with this, where are we right now? The feeling of ready to love, though in a protected sense. So it's not like you're taking your heart and you're like, hey, everybody, like we've learned better, right? We know that not everybody means us well. Not everybody is well enough to be with us. Some people got work to do. Maybe we also need to do work on ourselves. And so we recognize in ourselves that we deserve to do work on ourselves before we like pursue other folks in a particular way. So it feels good. Like, I always love the idea of, the heart in the shape of a tiger's eye, that protective element, but also it is a heart, it is love, it is maturity. That's where we are right now. It's not that we're all just ready to like, woo, jump off the cliff and that kind of thing. Though some of you will, and that's totally fine. Be sure to bring your parachute. Nothing wrong with a recreational sport, but you want to be sure that you got what you need to get going. All right. But yeah, it feels like a good place. It just feels like you've reached an age of maturity. You can move forward. Give yourself permission to move forward from here. So cool. Thank you for the gifts, everybody. Oh, yay. Thank you. Okay, I'm just checking messages. All right. So the piece that I pulled that I was like, oop, this isn't a bad thing. But it's always a shocking thing because I've got other pieces in my set that can mean the same thing. But yeah, so here we are. You ready? Yes. Yeah, protect yourself before you wreck yourself. Thank you, Redheaded Rebecca. Yeah, okay. This is a little metal skull. This is for where we're going. Now, before nobody panic. This oftentimes represents transition. I think I can say death once without getting a weird thing about it on the app. That is a transition. It is not an end. There are rarely ends. Also, Joey, I love that you said it looks kind of cute. Yeah, I'm glad you think so. Perspective is everything, right? Put a little hat on it. It's a cute little dude, right? This is why it's so important to let bygones be bygones, do the work so that you don't have to move forward with anything that is too heavy, because we are moving forward. We are transitioning. We are basically being like, all right, we learned some things. That skin has seen some work. Okay, like let's make some new skin, right? That's pretty literal. The skin, like we get new skin every like 7 years or something like that. So, yeah. He does need a little top hat. That would make these messages a little less intense. Yeah. Whenever this shows up in readings, I do the same stupid thing where I'm just like, well, people. So if you ever want a reading with me, I'm just like this in readings, like I am now. Like I'm just very much like. So yeah, think of it as a transition. Think of it as growth. Think of it as you really, put that nail in the coffin, the same reading that I did at the beginning, where it's just, you can't move forward until you put that plank of wood down and you put that nail in it in order to give yourself some just grounding so that you can put the next plank in, that sort of thing. So remember, not a bad thing, though. Remember, there will be people who are hanging on to what is no longer alive. Maybe that's a relationship. Maybe that's like an ex from like years ago. Maybe that's your trauma. Maybe that is your heartbreak. Maybe that is your shame. Maybe that is your grief. And you can hold on to that, but at some point it's going to keep turning into dust, right? And it gets harder and harder to hold because you're like, but I need it. And if you're doing this, how are you going to open up to people? How are you going to allow somebody else to maybe hold you up a little bit rather than you like doing this the whole time? I don't think things are necessarily going to get heavier from here, generally speaking. I think they're just going to start, like, think of it like sand. So really, I think sometimes in these, you see these cartoons of like carrying like these big boulders, and yes, it's heavy like that. But imagine carrying sand. Like, really imagine that. You've got to like do this, right? It starts getting exhausting too, because you're constantly like, oh no, where's it going? Oh no. So think of what sandbags you have that you're trying to hold. Think of what that looks like in your life, how that applies to life. And if you can, just, you can put it down. Okay. So I'm going to put these down. Sorry if the mic is kind of clicking my beads. P.S. This is my Hermes necklace. That's what this is. This stays on the Hermes altar. I wear it for Hermes things, like right now. Communication, da. So, drop the sand, man. Those are mosquitoes. If anybody watches this and they're like, what is Rebekah doing? Not actually dancing, not actually woo-woo. It's like I'm trying to pop mosquitoes into the nearby spider webs so they can eat too. Oh no, tears! Oh yeah, this is working a bit like therapy for you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, spiritual stuff and mental health stuff, I believe, are meant to work together. They are meant to collaborate with one another. It's been fascinating to me when I do a single reading for somebody and they're like, oh, I'm working on that in therapy. It's really their guide saying, hey, you're working on it in therapy and we see that, keep going. So they should work like this. I always recommend to people, like, obviously I am not a therapist. I do not have the qualifications for that. I am not a counselor. I am your humble Rebekah the Ghost Guide who does readings such as this. And like, they should reflect what you are going through. Though if you want to fix the here, you've got to go to somebody who knows the here. I'm the spirit knowing person, not the psychology knowing person. Always bring readings to therapy. Very helpful. Oh, that's very cool. Thanks for sharing that. The Jess. Love that name. And thank you for the heart, Twin Blade. Yeah, I'm seeing the gifts. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So yeah, I love that too. I will also do readings. Goodness, I had a reading from Theron Beyond the Veil like a few weeks ago. And then I started crying about it because it was a really good reading. It was totally like, right, hit the nail on the head, right? And I went to therapy like an hour later and I'm like crying about it. And I was just like, yeah, I got some really good perspective. And can we like deconstruct that because it's totally right? So I also take readings to therapy. I take my journaling to therapy. And yes, I do go to other readers because I never want to be above somebody else's perspective when they mean well for me. So I encourage you. I do readings for myself too, though sometimes I'm looking for something more, or I'm looking for maybe the thing that I missed. And so that's why I go to other readers. So Theron, oh my goodness, can I just say, I had an amazing time with Krista Capers. She was on my readers team. Thank you, Boris. Krista is on my readers team. She is Atlas Emotion Healing. Is that the name, Krista, on here? Can you please correct me? Oh my goodness. Yeah, Krista is doing it, okay? Like, when I tell you a miracle worker, I'm not saying this lightly. Life Atlas Healing. Okay, Krista is behind Life Atlas Healing. Thank you, Caitlin. So what Krista does, she does emotion coding, she does body coding, and right now she's getting certified for belief code, which was amazing. Okay, she got into things that I was getting past and I was working through, and like I thought I had left behind, but there were still like little pieces of it left in my energy that I needed to get rid of. And she spotted them and she was like, okay, let's let go of those limiting beliefs. And the coolest thing about her process is she's not just doing it from her end, the person who she's working with does it too. That's what I love, the interactive connection that she shares. And I've been talking with other people that she's been working with, and it's just been amazing. And yeah, really, if you are stuck on these emotion things, if you have body things that perhaps the doctors can't figure out and you think it might be something spiritually related, as far as like a clog or a block or something like that that's related to some part of you that you lived through years ago, Krista's the one to see. I follow her if that's easy for you to see. Also, I follow her on Instagram, which I'm following less people on Instagram, so she might be easier to find on there. But yeah, truly, I had an amazing session with her. I've also done YouTube videos with her in the past as well for body code and emotion code. So woo, I had so many feels, and then I felt like a good clean person afterwards, and then I had to sleep a long time. This week has been the week of sleep. So was kind of last week, but you know, when we're coming out of a chrysalim, we've got to like chill for a little bit, right? Yes, there's Krista. It's a fascinating process. Okay, so y'all, that's Krista Capers. She's the one doing it. She like, oh my goodness. You. Okay. Okay. I was gonna say something. I was like, meh. Okay. Anywho. Okay. Yes, thank you for pinning that. Chris is also one of my mods, if that helps to know. Now, I wanted to tell you about the numbers that I did for this year, the things that I have done. I did this in part for me because I wanted to know all the things that I did this year, though I also put it out in my Patreon newsletter. That's my primary newsletter. It goes out 4 times a year unless something really big happens, and that goes out to everybody. You don't have to be a paid member to be a part of the newsletter. Okay, so what I did this past year, 19 TikTok lives, 20 including today, and 6 ghost travel vids. 4 of those were public, 2 of those were Patreon exclusive. 6 Patreon outlooks. So at the first day of each month, I do an outlook each week, as well as an overarching theme for the whole group. Let's see. 64 minutes of skits. I have done over an hour of skits. Ghost skits, guide skits, etc. skits. Now, not all of those are out publicly yet, but everybody has seen them on Patreon or has access to them. An hour of skits, and that doesn't even include the other videos that I've been doing. So that was really cool. Let's see. P.S. Each of those skits, for each minute, you can tack on an hour to 2 hours for the writing, as far as like writing down my channel thoughts, for the filming and the editing. So, for 64 hours, times that by roughly 3, and that's the amount of work that I've put into those videos this year. So, 40 plus, oh my goodness, sorry, you probably got that hit. Woo, it was a skeeter. 40 plus consultations. I met with 40 plus people this year. And I wrote down about roughly like 1/3 of those were repeats. So what I also love now, I've been doing this long enough that people will do this on an annual basis. They'll be like, okay, cool. They'll see me and then they'll book like a year in advance for like their birthday or something like that. And I love that. It is such an honor to me to be able to check in with people, to check in with their guides. Oh my goodness, I had the coolest session just this last week. This was last week. I was like, what day is it? Yeah, I had met with her, goodness, like 2 or 3 years ago, and she was still working on her understanding of things. She really wanted some validation on some of the spirits that she was like interacting with, but she was having issues like seeing them or comprehending them and that kind of thing. So I was able to help validate her on that. And then a few years later, she comes back. She's a psychopomp. confidently calling herself a psychopomp, and we are able to like cross-validate more and more information rather than me just doing the reading. And that's exactly what I want. Like, she contacted me because she was having some issues with something and she wanted to work through it. And so I taught her how to work through it for other spirits moving forward. That's what I want. Like, that's the coolest thing. I've met with over 1,000 people at this point, and when they come back, I get so excited because I want them to grow. I want them to learn. I want them to be more confident. I want to work with the things that are like the 201 to the 501 subjects. I work with a lot of people on the 101 subjects, which I say, if you want a cheaper version rather than do a consultation, you can get my courses for $10 and you can really dive into those subjects. And then we can cross-validate each other and work on like the more advanced stuff catered to what it is that you're working on, your purpose, what you're doing, why you're incarnate. Part of it anyway. I never go into like full reasons. I go into like partial reasons because we get to choose our reasons. Though it's just been so cool. Like, like it has been the coolest thing. Anywho, okay, I went on a rant. Yes, okay, thank you. I did 7 social calls in the community tier, which I was about to get into. If you want to practice your skills or if you want to grow with another group of people, check out the Spiritual Study Hall group that is on my community tier in Patreon, which we are doing so much in there. Which is fantastic. Some of it is group-led. Paige and Caitlin actually head up the Spiritual Study Hall. I wanted it to be group-led because I do teach workshops in Patreon, which is a bit different. I wanted mainly for people to have a support group and a way for them to come together and focus on things that they're focusing on rather than the topics that I'm covering in the courses that month, which sometimes it does cross, but I just want it to be more open. That meets, let's see, I skipped ahead. Yeah, so let's see, how many spiritual study halls? 5 spiritual study halls. That has happened because it started relatively recently. And then I also started the Intuitive Entrepreneurship Club, which is for any ambitious person and how they're doing in their career. I like the entrepreneurial spirit, therefore I said entrepreneurship, but if you were hired by somebody else, you're welcome to be there. We've had 2 of those meetings because it's super new. That is also a part of the community tier, and it's something that I also love being on. I headed up with one of our members, Angela, who is a professional in understanding things like nonprofits and starting startups. Like, she's just been absolutely phenomenal. So it's just, I love all these community things because that's how it should be. And that makes me very happy. So anyway, the social calls are just that, part of the community tier. And it's just a chance for us to talk. In fact, there's another one. It's going to be mod-led by Krista and Caitlin tomorrow. So if you are to join the Patreon today, you can get into the Facebook group and pop in there tomorrow. It's going to be at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to get on that. For everybody else, you had a reminder email, I believe, sent out. I believe, but also an event was made. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that happened. So anyway, cool. So those are social calls. And then we've got, I released 8 courses. 8 courses in 6 months. Weehaw. That's on a variety of things. Goodness. Okay. And then I released 7 Patreon workshops. That's actually a live workshop with me. I don't know anybody who's only charging $40 for a workshop. And on top of that, you also get the community tier, you get the courses, you get the, like, goodness, you get the skits, you get merch, like all of that. I know of people who charge truly hundreds of dollars for a single workshop, and I'm not knocking that. Like, you know, I know your worth for sure. I just believe in crowdfunding. I believe that if more people give a little, we don't have to ask a lot from a few. So if any of this is interest to you, I really hope you consider checking out my Patreon, just because that is my main source of income so that I can make more videos and have more lives and give more to you at a lower rate. Woo! Anywho, okay, also, yeah, I noted, I have 118 TikTok subscribers, which really just goes to helping out me. It's like a little tip, and every now and then I'll offer a read. That's how I got so many in the first place, which is so exciting. If you want to see me do flash reads over an hour and a half from a few weeks ago, check out my YouTube because that recording is there. I am so proud of myself. Also, I've been meeting with people in consultations since then, and it's been wild. Like, I literally met with somebody today who was like, yep, your read during the speed reads was right on because of this, and this. And I was like, I don't remember what I said about you, but that's great that it was correct. Yeah, so thanks for that. It was great, thank you. Yeah, I did do that. um, but also, I wanted to give a huge thank you to the patrons in the community tier because without your help, I wouldn't have been able to do that. Like, I wouldn't have been able to do that. Like, I did practice reads with the community tier at one point. That eventually turned into spiritual study hall. And I do like practice exchanges with people sometimes. And this sort of like being able to do this, like bam, 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 like on a huge network such as this, it's intimidating and it's a lot of energy. And I'm really proud of myself. So thanks for being here. Thank you. Cool. Yeah, so the next thing I'm going to share with you is what I learned from this time. Before I do that, I think I'll do another read. So, and I'll also check in with the comments because I am reading some things. Thank you. I appreciate all your kindness. Thanks, everybody. Happy solstice. Yes. And mods, thank you so much for answering questions for each other. I'm also seeing like random people. Maybe I know you in Patreon, but I don't know your name. Thank you for answering the questions and being considerate to other people who are just popping on. I really appreciate that. Ooh. Entrepreneurship Club sounds interesting, but the ambition is not ambitioning. Oh, thank you for subscribing, Misty. Yeah, that's part of what we go over. It's I wanted to have a club of people who are ambitious, who are wanting to do other things or already starting other things or have dreams, etc. And I wanted to create this sort of how do we learn together and how do we support one another? And P.S. if any of you are watching, I did put something in our chat recently asking like how best can Angela and myself support you as you're growing, because I also appreciate sharing that space with all of you as I grow. So thank you, Kimberly. Thanks for the gifts, everybody. I super appreciate them. So yeah, if you're seeking for your ambition, if you're kind of like stuck in a rut or something like that, it's also part support group. Like we're not a counseling based group or anything like that, but I want us to support each other. Like I want to get away from this whole capitalist based society. I want people to feel like other people out there are supporting their dreams and ambitions. So if that's of interest to you, I'd love to see you. We meet once a month. Yes, I was living in a bus and I do miss it from time to time. Really, the only reason why I sold the bus was can't be downtown Wilmington and living in a bus. They find that illegal, which I think is a war on poverty because some people don't have the choice but to live out of a vehicle, especially when you're not bothering anybody. Anyway, so that was why that decision happened. I still keep it in the back of my mind for what I want to do in the future because I really love that life and I love how I really had to trust my intuition with that, and it was really cool to be in different places and be like a turtle and just kind of move around like that. So might be something in the future. In fact, you know, as it is the solstice, I'm gonna say that it's gonna be something that happens in the future again. Thank you for answering each other's questions. I super appreciate it. Yeah, I said I would do another read. You know what? I will ask you, and then I'll go into what I learned. Oh, thank you, Jenna, for subscribing. So, for a collective read, and if it's already been something I've covered, I'm not going to do it again. If you want to watch it, the YouTube video that will go up shortly. Sorry I keep hitting this. I hope it's not too off-putting. Anywho, if what's an idea for a collective read for folks? Let's see. What do y'all want to know? What do you want to know? What should I do a collective poll on? I'm gonna see however many of y'all want to comment. And this is a collective poll, it's not for individuals. So whatever you're asking for is going to be a collective, not for individuals. Well, I want it to apply to you individually, but it's going to be collective. It's not going to be like, you person, this is what's going on. Like, I will do that at another date at some point with a lot of caffeine. Ooh, okay, okay. I'm seeing some great stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna go, I'll do 3 ones. So, health, ambitions, finances. Now, finances, we are getting more into like the nitty gritty, so I might give a more vague answer because many of you will see many different things. But I will attempt to do a collective answer right after I tell TikTok that I am still a person. Huzzah. All right, so ambitions, health, finances for the collective. Once again, if you're just joining, if you don't consent to this, just say to yourself no, or say to your guide folks no. If you want your folks to kind of weigh in on the collective message, say yes. You can just say it telepathically or whatever makes you happy. If you're watching in post, same thing applies. So, first thing, let's see, what does the collective need to know about health in the next quarter? How about that? The next quarter. That one. Brick. It's got a little bit of incense on it. This is gonna be a time where you're just gonna have to pay attention. For me, I have an app to help me with that. And I think this applies to how your physical health helps to drive your spiritual health and your mental health. So I'm primarily talking physical health here. You're just gonna have to do it. And I know that's easier said than done. I don't want to discount that. Though, if you're wanting to do better things for your body, do it. Like, you will always find a million excuses to not do the thing that you need to be doing. That might be eating more mindfully. What? Restricted for some audiences? Okay. Well, apparently this live is getting restricted because I'm talking about health. Okay. So thanks everybody for still being here. Anyhow, okay. So, okay, with your health, do the thing. You don't have to do the biggest thing, but do something. If that means walking, walk. If that means, just go to the end of the driveway and back because that's more than what you typically do because you work at home, do that. If that means drinking more water, drink more water. If that means being more mindful about what you put into your body, be more mindful about it. I'm not saying skip the cupcakes. I'm just saying be mindful about how many cupcakes you eat or how much you work out when you eat the cupcakes. What does that look like? Okay. I want people to celebrate themselves. Also, I think this has to do with celebrating the body that you have and saying, hey, good job, even when you want more from it, but still to be like, hey, this is what I got. It's working in this way, this way, and this way. Hasn't entirely collapsed yet, because if it did, well, you'd be in a hospital or you would be on the other side, right? So do the thing. Make a schedule if that's what you need to do. Make a timer if that's what you need to do. Time of excuses is done. Take care of yourself. This is the only form that you get. Might as well treat it well. Okay. So that's what we have to do with health. How's that feeling, everybody? Thank you for answering questions, mods, and everybody else. Yeah, restricted. Ooh, dangerous. You're like, what does that mean? Yeah, how dare I tell people to pay attention to their health? Also, I'm a part of the collective, so this is a message for me too, and I know exactly what it has to do with. So, yeah. Yeah. Emotional support water bottle. Ooh, thank you for reminding me, Katie. If you're wanting to absorb good intention for yourself, write it on a water bottle. Put your ambition on the water bottle. Put an affirmation on your water bottle. Okay, speaking of ambitions. Okay, what is the collective need to know about ambitions for the next quarter? It's that one there. This one? Ah, sea glass. It looks very cracked. Also, I don't know if you can hear, but Bird has something to say about this conversation, which I'm a fan of. Slash, is that mic driving anybody crazy? I hope not. Yeah, so ambitions. This does have to do with glass, and I'm feeling like where your glass is, like the whole is your glass half empty, half full, or is there just water in the glass? I want you to manifest for yourself the glass overflowing. We are still in solstice energy. And if you don't see your glass overflowing, ask yourself, what is it that I need to release to allow it to overflow? Maybe you have a lid on your glass. Figure out your lid. Now, the lid might have a little hole in it. You know, maybe it's like a straw hole or something. Lets water overflow, right? But wouldn't it be better if the lid were just gone? That allows more water to come in. That allows old water to go out. Figure out what your lid is. Release it. Tonight, if you can. Or tomorrow. Also would be a great option. If you're watching this in post on YouTube, hey, anytime is a great time to release stuff. So remember that. It's not always about the moons and the dates and the times and everything like that. It's about what you feel at the time that you feel it. So, but yeah, really figure out the good things that are in your glass. Water is good. We are primarily made of water. So how do we fill ourselves, and how do we give back to ourselves, and how do we allow ourselves to have more than what we see we need, but exactly what we want? So that's the ambition. Hello in the UK. Goodness, it's getting kind of late there. Happy Friday. All right, so the next one's finances. As I said, this is probably gonna be pretty broad because a lot of people are in different places. We're gonna draw for the quarter, for the collective. What does the collective need to know about finances for the next quarter? This one. Ooh. Okay, this is one of my favorite rocks. It comes from my favorite river, the Eno River. It's a nice, steady flowing river. It's always got a nice flow to it. And it's never so deep. It's typically a river that you can walk across, which is pretty cool. So what does this say? Allow your money to flow in. This has something to do with ambition. See how it goes in. So some of y'all got limiting beliefs on your money. Some of y'all believe that you don't deserve to get things that you want. Some of you believe that other people deserve far more than you do, so you just don't give yourself any. I get it. Some of you are parents. Some of you are caretakers. Some of you are just givers. But remember, you got nothing to give if you got nothing to give. So remember, just like everybody else is a part of your world, remember you are a part of your world too. It is okay to give to yourself. It is okay to let abundance, to let money, to let wealth, whatever that means for you, flow to you. We are in a very exciting time where we don't have to block things right now. We are primarily the ones blocking things for ourselves. So if you choose to remove those blocks, whatever they may be, whatever limiting beliefs you may have, get ready. Just let it come. Let the abundance come to you. It's not always been like that in time. Like, for example, this past, February, March, April, that was not the time for a lot of abundance. It was a lot of shedding. But we are moving into that time where we can have abundance. But also, understand what wealth looks like for you. Finances will mean different things for different people. Wealth is going to mean different things for different people. Maybe that's something you want to journal about. Yeah. It just very much feels like if you're putting good out there, the universe is going to want to give good back to you. So figure out what's not letting you take it, or what's in your way of receiving. If you need extra help on that, Of course, I offer readings. Krista is great at removing limiting beliefs. Like you can ask for signs. You don't necessarily have to book a reading. If you want to get a self-help book, if you want to look into counseling, if you want to look into therapy, there's so many ways to realize your blocks. So you can also realize your blocks through other tools. I use rocks. Maybe you use cards. Maybe you use a pendulum. You ask yes or no questions. Is this a problem? Is this not a problem? So remember, everybody has intuition. So if you need the extra help, I'm happy to help you. I have a lot of different resources, some that are immediate through my courses on Patreon, some that you have to wait a little bit. P.S. But before I get into that, but remember, you have the power to change your life. You, all on your own. You get to choose who helps you. Some people are in the position to get more help. Other people have to figure out their own way. I was one of those people, so I understand what it's like. Thank you for this doc. P.S. Yeah, I released a special code to all of my members on Patreon, not just the paying ones, but all of my members on Patreon for 24% off all of my services except for quick chats. Why? Quick chats are the cheapest, and if I took that much, it just wouldn't. So like, quick chats are still the cheapest by far. Thank you, Elizabeth. If you want to just talk things with me or talk things out with me or share stories or ask my opinion on something that's not like a mediumship-led thing, quick chats are the way to go. They're usually available the fastest. Also, as I said, they're cheaper. So if you're doing the work and you just want to check your work and just be like, I'm doing this, does that sound like a good idea to you? And you care for my opinion? Really, most of you, the more that I'm seeing, especially if you've taken the courses, you don't need all the mediumship. It's cool. It's fun. I love doing it with you. Though many of you just want to talk things out and problem solve with somebody. Quick chats are for that. So if that's of interest to you, that's on there. But if you want to book one of the larger services, maybe that is an intuitive business consultation. Maybe that is a soul journey reading, which goes into a bunch of past lives and how the past can help you with your present to get you to your future. Maybe you want to learn what your clair skills are, who your guides are. That would be in a mediumship reading. Those readings, which are the bigger ones, you can get a 24% off code if you become a member of my Patreon. But that's only for the first 24 people who use it. And already it's been used 4 times the last time I checked. So you got 20 chances, which is like pretty cool. I love giving back to my Patreon. So, and thanks to everybody who are answering questions. Yes. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to go over, since I've been on here a little bit longer than an hour. Woo! You know, I used to do ghost tours in like 100-degree heat. What has happened? I'm good. I promise I'm good. I know some of you up north are like strangely hotter than it is down here. At least I'm near the coast. I get some breeze. But anyway, I think it's... No, I was about to say, it's because I've been talking for an hour. And then I was like, I used to talk for an hour in tours, as well as walk 3 miles. But I wasn't talking the entire time. And I usually had a lot more cold brew in my system. And I was younger. Anyway. So, the birds agree that it's crazy. Miserable up there. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's in the 90s here in the North Kakalaki, with a heat index of like mid 90s or something like that. I mean, it's soup. I remember I came out this morning and I was like, the air is hugging me. Soup is back, you know. Anywho. Thank you. I think that was a frog. If anybody knows what that was and you heard it, thank you for the gift, by the way. Anywho, we also have a, okay, I have a lovely tree spirit who is here, and the frog came from where the tree spirit is. I was like, oh, hello. Yes, soup is back. A frog? Okay, thank you. I don't think it was a squirrel. I do know my squirrels. Thank you, Katie. I love Rebecca and all the animals. Loving the commentary. Thank you. Woo! Yes. Okay. So, what I learned in the last 6 months. This is a hodgepodge of a lot of information. So hang on tight. and leave your ears open, because I'm gonna bet you some of these lessons you're either going through, you've also learned and it resonates with you, or you might need to go through in order to let go of some things. These are all lessons that I learned this year. I am learning all the time. So here we go. Let's see. Here we go. All right. If they don't see your value through their limiting beliefs, let them go. Do not go over 1 month without therapy ever again. I got caught in between some things, and don't you know, when I went back to therapy, it was like my whole life was like, ah! Like that was a test from my guides, and yep, I needed therapy, so here we go. Okay, let's see. The right people never feel like work and aren't draining. Seasonal depression is real. Get ahead of it. You are more than what you give to people or how you service others. Your mistakes and oversights should never be made somebody else's problems. There is no failure, only lessons learned. To become the villain, words! To become the villain in somebody else's story says a lot more about how they handle the situation. You never have to live up to someone else's idea of you, especially when that person never knew you in person and in your present life. Also, and this is just the one I added on to the end, polyamorous does not equal an open relationship. If anybody's wondering, my relationship is very closed. Anywho, you can imagine by some of those lessons that I have seen some stuff this year, and I do not want to repeat them. Woo! The bird agrees. Thank you. Yeah. Now, I will say, for polyamorous people, sometimes that does equal an open relationship. I had to figure out for myself what that meant for me. It's going to be different from time to time, from person to person, to relationship to relationship, from couple to couple. But anywho, yeah. Define polyamorous then. So if you found me from Love Don't Judge, I am in a relationship with an incorporeal and a corporeal. So that's still 2 folks. But I'm not looking for any third. Ooh, yeah, I'm reading the comments. That's deep. Profound, thank you. Love the lessons learned, thank you, thank you. Some of y'all saying ouch. Yeah, the birds have things to say. Yeah. Thank you. Woo! All right. Oh, you never seen me post anymore? Megan, you are welcome to go through my page right after this and let the algorithm know that you want to see my stuff again. You can like, comment. If you share stuff with people, that also tells the algorithm that you're really interested in it. Or if you never want to miss a ghost skit again, you can check out my Patreon. So that being said, last thing I wanted to go over was, I talk about Patreon a lot. I talk about crowdfunding a lot. If I'm being honest, I would love to not have to ask that of anybody ever again. I would love it if your views as a collective could be enough to fund my work so that I can just create content. I am manifesting for myself that at some point I could take the Patreon and everything that we've done and just, well, not everything, take at least the courses on Patreon and the Patreon exclusives and that sort of thing, and just put them on YouTube so that everybody can see them. Everybody can view them, everybody can get whatever they want from them. However, for that to be done, I need a lot more viewership, primarily on YouTube. YouTube and Instagram, really. TikTok is very helpful, though TikTok doesn't really pay that much for viewership anymore. I have the ambition of getting my own producer, film crew, somebody to run my social media, somebody to run the marketing behind my social media, and my own editor, so that I can go to places and learn and grow for you and with you, so you can just watch stuff and make reads. And then from there, I would still like to do community elements, but make them more accessible to even more people. So maybe that's a small paywall, just as a kind of energetic exchange, so that it's not just like open to whoever's not taking it seriously, but just open to those who are taking it seriously. I haven't gotten there yet, so I haven't super thought that out. That being said, I have the ambition this year to grow. I have had meetings with 15 different producers at this point, like since 2020. And all of them didn't know what to do with me. Because they're like, oh, well, we're going to want to show you getting scared at this haunted location. And I said, no, that doesn't show people good boundaries. That doesn't show people how they can grow. That does not show people how best they can work on themselves. That does not let people know that they are their own power source and they can protect themselves. I was like, I don't want to do the scares. Now, if I get scared, I'm going to talk about it so y'all understand, which there's a course on that from like the previous years on what I've learned scariest experiences. That being said, I am doing this so that more people can see this, and so I don't have to charge as much. In time, I don't know if I'm going to be doing consultations. And it's not out of a lack of wanting. It's that I've come to this conclusion, and I've done a lot of thinking on this, that I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot so that I can really give back and teach people. I have a real passion for teaching people how to do this themselves. I feel like that is part of my purpose for being here in this time incarnate right now. I want people to believe in themselves. Oh, I'm on restriction. That's right. Sorry. I saw it and I was like, am I not offline? So I'm still online. Cool. So yeah, right now though, the reality is I need more money. If I'm going to make this more interesting for everyone, the quality of my videos has to get better. And in order for me to do that and still do the work that I'm doing on top of all the Patreon posts and all of the consultations that I'm doing and getting out there, I need to be able to afford to pay other people to do this. So right now, crowdfunding is going to be the most important to me. I have a meeting with a producer on Wednesday, actually, to help me figure out how to really do this on my own. This is going to be another huge venture for me. I'm already estimating I will likely need an extra $2,000 to make this happen. Now, here's the thing. Some of that I will be taking from my personal savings. Other parts of that, if y'all are interested in joining this Patreon, even just for $5, like, I believe in crowdfunding. I believe if more people want to do that, I can do this. And then at some point, my views will get so big that I won't need the crowdfunding anymore. Thank you, Sabrina. So if any of this makes sense to you, if you want to see this growth happen, and it's not just for me, like I tell people, I'm like, I can do a lot of things. I feel very called to this because I feel it's very important that other people wake up to what they can do, to their confidence, to their empowerment, to their intuition. So for the time to be able to do these things, I'm putting some money forward. I'm asking for y'all's support to put money forward. Here's the thing though, with Patreon, I give a lot in my Patreon, so it's not just me being like, give me money. Like, it's me being like, here's this thing that you're paying for, and it also helps me. So yeah, that is my ambition. That is what I'm seeing for myself. That is for my growth. And it's a pinch right now. Though if I can hit that mark on my social media and for my YouTube, that means that I'm making enough that I can get by on what I need to do here, the logistics and that sort of thing. And then I can give back to more people. And as a result, lower the crowdfunding because I'll be making just from viewership. So that's where I'm at. That being said, and thank you for saying the kind things about my Patreon. Thank you. Yay, thank you. I appreciate y'all saying that. I appreciate your support. Oh my goodness. Thank you. So yeah, those are my ambitions. I want things to be more accessible and affordable for everybody. And right now that means pinching a lot for myself. And also that mosquito who is very interested in this arm that I did put bug spray on. But here we are. Cool. Well, my voice is tired. It's been like an hour and a half. Thank you for joining this Solstice Live. I love doing these. These are my favorite kinds of lives throughout the year, my Solstice Lives. And I'm actually going to go watch somebody else's live in a few minutes. And if any of you are a part of the Boo Crew, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, but besides that, I think I'll need to take a shower because it is humid out here. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your kindness. And I thank you for any of the support that you've given, big or small, even just commenting on my videos, helping the algorithm, sharing my videos, liking them. That helps too. So never forget the impact that you can have on somebody else to help others. That is just huge. So thank you. And happy solstice to everybody. Happy full moon. I don't know if my moon is out yet, but I'm gonna go see. But yeah, yes, cool. Well, thanks everybody. Happy solstice, everyone. And if you are just catching this live, it'll go up on YouTube within the week. So, good night, good day.